How's it going? Viktra here, and I decided to go to a more personal side of commentary, somewhere no commentator really tends to go to, in the area of visual novels. This one in particular is called Katawa Shoujo. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But from what I read, it's about a boy with a heart disease, and he's sent to a school for disabilities and whatnot. So, without further ado, let's begin. Alright. Snowy, I like snow. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. I like the imagery. This is the popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy for all to sight and teachers and fellow students. Now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into the cupped hands and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4:00 p.m. Ah, yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as glitches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way it shows a bit of initiative. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white plain sky, painted sky, are the only sign of time passing in the stagnant world. Their slow descent upon frozen forest makes it seem like time is slowed to a crawl. Ooh, the rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone's approaching me from behind. Oh no. Oh no. Hi? Hisao? You came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I listened to hundreds of times, but never as more as an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face his voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart begins to race. Uh-oh. Whoa! Hot babe! Oh yeah. Yamaku? I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Pathetic. Yes. I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on here? My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. Oh. Oh man, that's pretty deep, bro. It's pretty deep. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous voice is music to my ears. Yamaku flinches ever so softly against the gust of the wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. Oh, I love it when girls do that. All the while, the anxious beating in my heart grows louder. Uh-oh. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out, even if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you go out with me. I stand there, motionless, saved from my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Say something. Hisao? I reach up to try and massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao! My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Oh no, we're having a heart attack! Heart attack! No! Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. The world around me, the canopy of the bare branches, the dull winter sky, Yamaku running towards me, all these fade to black. The last things I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Yamaku screaming for help, and the incessant clatter of the branches above. Oh man. The heart disease caught up to him. Where are we? Whoa. Looks like we have a steady heart rate. At any rate. 4-Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Pretty good so far, I like it. I like visual novels. Inspiration, Ratia. Writing, Anonymous 22, CPL, Editing, Kamemi, Lazara, Silent Cook. Music, Blue 123, Nicole Emmer something. Look like we're in a hospital. Art, some names. Art, again, Boki. These are pretty talented artists, though. Additional art, Climatic, Doomfest. I like how they're calling them by their usernames or whatever. FMV Animation, Mike Canel. The Clock, Directing, Delta, Raid. I didn't even see that last name. I'm done. Engineering. I want to be an engineer. Production. I'm so excited for this story. Here we go. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. In that whole time, I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. For 4 months, it's a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. So I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. Oh no. A strange word. A foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go so long without anything happening. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I had already had a full day of them to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell their house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure. Oh man. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. Oh, that's nice. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. That's mean. I realized the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a... Oh, wow. Many people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Iwanako was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject was between us on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of an omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough. Now I'm not disappointed by any more when I get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there's at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. I like to read, but I loved the stories. That was what my life was like. The days had become increasingly hard to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like the time blurred into some kind of gooey mass. I was trapped outside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I pause in realization that I don't know what day of the week it was. Most times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, though the barrier of non-chancellence I had set up for myself. The pages of the book would start to feel sharp and burning, hot, and the heaviness of my chest would become so hard to bear that I had to put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. Poor guy. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is it supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is a ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes the time sorting his papers, then setting him aside as make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits on the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Oh, he's about to tell you. He's about to tell you. Hello, Hisao. How are you today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little. Back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medications sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor had a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look myself. Feeling numb, how am I supposed to react to this? Whoa, the absurdly long list of medications starting back to me, and the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together with a sea of letters. It's a lot of medication. This is insane! Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed for me line after line with cold precision. I try and read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life? Every day? I can't imagine that. I'm afraid that is the best thing we can do at this point. However, new medication is always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Oh, great. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it'd be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please, calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down. The way he sees it, he tells me if I knew full well I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes away from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of this as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence, while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. We're trying to disguise that fact. If it were really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being a nearby selling point. Of course, that's only if you want to go. But your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and took a look a couple weeks back. I think you like it. It looks like they really don't have a choice. I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at your chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school. And it's not, wow, the same one. A special school. That's an insult to what I have to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. Yeah, don't try and cheer me up, Dad. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of school have gone on to do amazing things. A person does not have to be held back by a disability. Where's my mother at? One of your colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. One of my colleagues. I don't care. A person does not have to be held back by a disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny. I had always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now. Something about how I can go back to school anyway. But no! I don't say anything. The fact is, I know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, the doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice, I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try and put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something, even if it is a special school. It's something, it's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake just to resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try and see what a new life will look like. Okay. Alright, I guess we're gonna have to go look at this school. Alright. Well, that's pretty cool. Act 1. Life expectancy! Okay, the doctor said we would live a long, healthy life, so that's what I'm expecting. Okay, here are the gates, I guess. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, the gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster. Assembled to a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wonder if it looked like a gate for a school I should look like. For a school that's... we couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course, I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered it through a brisk pace that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. It does. So I walked towards the main building in Yakumu Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have. More like a park, with a clean walkway, going past trees and smell of fresh-cut grass and all other park-like things. Works like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes you shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what she said. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the lefty canopies. Too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feelings are real or caused by expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kind of eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I can anchor myself to something tangible instead of having this feeling that I stepped in another dimension. The trees hum with the wind and the green hues, flashing all around and catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again. How they say the operating rooms are painted green because the green is a common color. So why I am feeling so anxious despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprised myself by realizing the gate that bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back. Even if I had no life I could return to. But still, after entering, there was absolutely no way I could go back anymore. Feeling nervous with this realization set in my head, I opened the front door. Oh, it's pretty nice. A tall man with a bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Nikki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Mewtwo. Welcome. The Pokemon. We exchanged a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy. He looks at his watch. The head nurse asks for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon is probably fine. We should go get going and introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. Waiting for me? I don't really like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. Somehow not knowing what's waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost missed what the teacher's saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah, of course. Yes. Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that normal? Of course. But not everyone likes to be the center of attention. I'm probably one of those people, but I guess just be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then! My heart is pounding in chest and keeps me thinking about condition as I follow the teacher upstairs. Don't die! The third door down the third floor corridor is marked as classroom for class 3-3. Mewtwo opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing on the spot. Get a grip. This is a big step. I know that, but there isn't any point of worrying so much about it. At least, not this soon. I follow the teacher in the classroom and look around partially, so I won't have to meet the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious. The ceiling is usually high and there's lots of space left over around in between the desks. Everybody's staring at me. The entire wall taken by blackboards and the high old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with shelf underneath them, books, wooden chairs with a metal frame. Simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in my other school, in any other school. Then again, why would they be here? They're probably like me and have something wrong with them. It's just not immediately obvious. I noticed when a girl seemed to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite the natural tendency to listen when someone's talking to you, I tune out to the teacher's speech halfway through when he introduces me to the class. Look at him over there. I notice a flash of dark hair and see that someone's looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if it would make her invisible. There's only one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of his class. It's weird seeing someone so young with the cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motion. Sign language? She peers over at me with the rim of her glasses and goes back to whatever she's doing. It's kind of cute. So the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her. She's really hard to miss. I don't know how I didn't notice her the moment I walked in. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowling in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. I should say something more exciting. I end up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied even with that little I said. Though, a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gotten worse. Listen to the teacher as he drones about getting along with me. Getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which makes me feel like a weird thing to do. The first row girl claps on this round, with her one hand against her other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes me feel a little bit bad. We're going to do some group work today, so that'll give you a chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain everything you want to know. And who else will be able to do that better, right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we all be working in groups of 3. It hits me I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow, the teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Thank you. Alright, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Hello. As she calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with the bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha 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 ha! Why are you laughing at me? What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too, but I'm not Hakamichi. I'm Misha. This is Hakamichi. Shi-chan. Wow. Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. Seems like she has been staring at this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she's acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has a short, carefully, neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balancing her tip on the damply nose, and the dark blue eyes seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you too. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher's messing with me, saying things like, "You'll be able to talk with people, and who better explain things to you?" I can see her a little confused, right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course. If he is, he wasn't. He would have been standing up there for no reason, right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? We knew there was going to be a new student, but we didn't know how you'd be here today. So soon. He-chan, right? He-chan? Yep, it fits, doesn't it? Didn't I say it out loud? It's just a surprise. I would never like that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Ha 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 ha! Stop laughing at me. You look just like a He-chan. My name is Hisao, woman. I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands a blur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know she's the class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Okay. When do you have to be around for her to ask her, though? Don't you like school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it. Misha stumbles with the hard work a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that'd be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just came straight to class today. Laughing again. That's no good. You should always try to learn as much as you can where where you're going before you go there. Not just with school, either. Always, even it's a trip to the convenience store. Really, Shi-chan? Ah! Learn about where you're going? I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to go along with it. Half-assedly. But anyway, I didn't say anything. And Misha shot something that ends in a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like something over in my seat. Both of them are smiling. But that shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. You look down. Are you okay? I'm okay. Don't take it the wrong way. Please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things. By asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal. As much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed the test. Wah! Wah! Alright. Aha, and another thing. You don't have to call Shi-chan something formal like Hakamechi or class representative all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay. Aha, okay. Maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate? Yup, Shizune is fine. Okay, that'd be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she seems like that. Just less so, I guess. Okay. We haven't even touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is kinda long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. We should. Wah! That too. Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't need to know sign language to understand that. Okay. I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of being both difficult and unnecessarily long. Still, we finished it a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite a late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class representative is calm as professional as she looks, while Misha is a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did most of the work. I feel guilty about that. The clock tower bells ring, signaling the end of the period. Time for lunch! My favorite time of the day. Oh yeah, lunch! Without knowing what else to do, I followed Misha, who was beckoning me into the hallway and downstairs. We descend below the lobby, where I meant me to. Down to the bottom floor. Here comes the Pokemon. Looks like my lunchroom. Just like everything in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard, towards the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around her stare. But Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed to the line. We're attracting attention. There's a rather long list of menu options, which seems great until I realize that many of them accommodate students who need special diets. How nice. It feels like I'm back at a hospital eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table, sitting at the opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand sign, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at a person who talks to you is proper and polite? Do you know? Do you want to know something? What? About anything. You're guys, so you can ask if there is something. I wonder. Let's see. Let's ask about her deafness. Shizune intrigues me, and I kind of want to ask something about her. But I can't really ask about something personal. Can I? I can't come up with anything else to ask, so I just focus on my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune stand back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. That's usually what women do. But their sign language is, I don't know, screams and yells and "Ow! I seen him!" Ow! Stuff like that. But I quickly notice the conversation is silent enough to fill the silence. Back in the room. We arrive in the classroom early, but we're not the first. Who are you? That dark-haired girl I noticed before is slumped over her desk at the last row. Whoa. She jumps a little when Misha crashes into the room with the elegance of a rhino. She shrinks deeper into her seat. I can feel her chances all the way from here, as if she were slowly turning into some stone just from her presence. Misha and Shizune either don't notice or don't mind it. as they walked directly past her to her seats and began to converse. I'm left wondering about her, even when the classroom slowly fills with other students. And finally, the teacher. Oh, he left a bad impression. Oh no. Getting into the rhythm of school feels strange, as if my brain remembers how it's done, but my body doesn't. Towards the end of the class, I start yawning and counting the 3 minutes left. I'll soon be the start of my first day of school. Maybe it's the long time spent in the hospital that made me like this. I'm even feeling physically weak and lifeless. Okay. Before long, the final bell rings. School's over, baby! School is finally over for the day. Beside me, Misha and Junior are having a short conversation. After a bit of deliberation, Misha turns to me. Unfortunately, we can't stay and show you around today, John. We gotta hurry outside. We gotta hurry already, since there's a lot of work for us to do. You'll find your way around here, I'm sure of it. Ah, wait, the teacher said. I have to see the nurse. Where do I have to go? Is that so? We can at least show you that much. Come on, the nurses have their own building, so we have to go outside. Thank you. I like that painting, by the way. We joined the flow of students making their way down the stairwell on the side, with the girls pointing out other senior classrooms in the same hallway as ours. When we get outside, the girls make their way to the smaller building right next to the school. It's built in the same style, so it looks like actually part of the main building. This is the auxiliary building here. There's a lot of official and important stuff inside, like the Yakumu Foundation office and the nurse's office, and they even have a swimming pool. I like swimming pools. How's that official? Don't be silly, John. It's for physical therapy, of course. Anyway, the nursing staff facilities are in there too. The head nurse's office is on the first floor. Thank you. You'll be fine from there, right? We'll be going. See you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks. Bye. A whole building for stuff has nothing to do with actual education? I guess it's necessary for a place like this. I walk in, hoping that this will be an only quick visit like the teacher said. Only a white door on the left is a green cross with the text, Head Nurse, and a nameplate. A voice over the inside responds to my knock almost immediately, but I can't quite make it out. It sounded like an invitation to open the door, so I invite myself further in. This room is not large and it smells strange. A friendly-looking man turns around on an office chair and faces me as I enter. His desk is neat and tidy, and the bin under the table is overflowing with used medical utensils, and there are at least a dozen coffee cup rings littering on the desk. Drinks a lot of coffee. Hello there. What can I do for you today? Smiling man. He's young looking and sort of rugged, with dimples in his cheeks wash that impression away when he smiles. Are you the nurse? He smiles like a person who has heard his very same question hundreds of times. Oh yes, I am. It takes so on the door, no? You can call me by the name of just the nurse, like everyone else. Of course, I shake off my confusion, realizing I probably should grab his extended hand. His handshake is rather firm and friendly. Right. I'm a new student, and my homeroom teacher told me to come and meet you. My name is Hisao Nakai. His eyes light up with revelation, and he snaps his fingers. Oh, so you're that Nakai. He finally opens his eyes. I was just reading your file in the morning. Some kind of chronic arrhythmia and related congenital heart muscle deficiency, right? He gestured me to sit down in a vacant armchair in front of his desk. Yes. Good. Well, you've probably been briefed about school enough, so I'll just go over this quickly. We have all kinds of facilities available, mostly physical therapy and such. There's always someone from the staff around, even at night, so never hesitate to call us if there's a problem. The famous 24-hour nursing staff. Wow, this is like a hospital. Well, not exactly. For instance, we don't do brain surgery here. That makes sense. It so feels so out of place when I'm not thinking about even he said it. Yeah, just said it's really weird to have so many medical people at school. You'll get used to it. I'm not sure to sort it myself, but I don't let the nurse know it. Now, just let me find your file again. While he searches for something from his computer and shuffles stacks of papers around, I'll let my gaze wander around the room. The epidermal is generic, I like to say. Beige walls and ceiling, dark gray laminate flooring, and equipment you expect from the school nurse's staff. Even the ridiculous educational posters are hanging off 4 walls, reminding me to eat properly, 3 times a day, and from all the food groups. I never did read one of those. So finally, the nurse draws a thick file from a stack of similarly thick files and opens it. So, you already had medication for the arrhythmia. Just remember to take your pills every morning and evening, or it won't be much help. That's all. Apart from that, do you do any sports? Rash stuff like, I don't know, boxing? He grins his own joke, but I don't. I think he does soccer. I think he's out there. Yeah, I played soccer occasionally with some classmates. Alright, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to recommend you refrain from doing it. At least, for the time being. Oh, my lack of reaction makes him raise an eyebrow. But not really. I'm not too bothered by him forbidding me to kick a ball around. I guess I never did it out of burning passion for the sport, just to have something to do. Any kind of concussion may be very dangerous to your heart. Risking another attack is not a good idea. Okay. Was the previous one caused by sudden concussion to the chest area? There's no mention of the cause in your papers. Oh. Oh yeah, not exactly. I sidestepped to the question acceptably. He glances over me over his papers with a more serious expression on his face. So, you need to keep your body healthy, so some exercise will do you good. Open your eyes, man. We still have physical therapy and such available, as I said. But I don't think you really need such heavy measures. Just some light exercise regularly. Brisk walls or even light jogging, jumping rope, that sort of thing. Swimming maybe? There's a pool here. So I was told. Yeah. You were? Very good. At any rate, I'm sure you've been told this before. You just need to take care of not overexert yourself. Alright. Your body's free and emphasize the point. Don't eat, really. I've heard this about 1,000 times already. Absolutely no unnecessary risks. Take care of yourself. Okay. He goes over my papers one more time and sets them on the desk. Obviously content. Good. That's it. Meet me if you ever need something. I'm ushered out before I even realized it. Quick visit indeed. I end up standing in front of the main building and auxiliary building. Although my eyes, they still look one and the same. It's the first real look I get out, look at the other students. So I watch people coming out to school, going towards to get up the dorms. Everyone seems to know where they were going, and I still keep thinking that most of them I do not look too special for being students at a special school. Then again, neither do I. Does that make me one of them? One of us? I should go somewhere too, to prevent me from getting lost. It's around dinner time, but I feel tired instead of hungry. The readiness in me only grows as I trudge towards the dorms, set a little way apart from the main building complex. There's a garden of sorts between the school and the dorms, shrubbery, flowers, and that overbearing smell of fresh-cut grass that fills the atmosphere. I know what you mean, buddy. It dawns on my tired mind that the smell feels novel because I haven't been outside at all for so long. Been in the hospital. The dorm building is big, made of red brick. Like the others, it feels way too pompous for what it is. I push forward, going inside. Is that graffiti? It takes more time necessary to fish out the key I was given from my pocket. Room 119. Despite the ornate exterior, the inside of the dorm is fairly new, functional, and boring. Just like in the main building, all the halls and doors were wide to accommodate wheelchairs. The same goes for the elevators at the ends of the hallways. I poke my head around the corner for the common room door. Inside, a few students are watching the television. One nods to give me a quick hello before turning back on the TV. Seems like the only girls around here are sociable, so I suppose that's perfectly fine with me. I climb the stairs to the upper floor. Here, small corridors branch off of the main hallway. Each of these mirror halls seem to have a toilet and a shower, as well as 4 rooms. About halfway down, I spy room 119. The nameplate on the rooms adjacent to mine are blank. I guess that's just 2 of us here. Light shines from the room of room 117, so I knock lightly. Hello, is anyone home? From inside I hear a few movements, then the clicking of way more locks than I thought these doors had. After a moment, the door squeaks open. A bespectacled boy is standing in the doorway. He's looking at me very intently through his extremely thick eyeglasses. Who is it? Blind? No, at least not completely. Why do you have eyeglasses if he was? He leans over close. Whoa, buddy. He leans over close to me to our noses almost touch. His breath stinks of garlic. Hisao Nakai. I'm moving into the next room. I thought I should introduce my... His face suddenly brightens realization. He stands back upright, thrusting his hand about smiling greeting. Almost straight to my diaphragm. Oh, sup, dude? Name's Kenji. Ah, hi. I take Kenji's sweaty hand and shake it. Still a little rattled by the sudden change of altitude and vehement welcome. There are some suspicious looking people going around out of your room earlier. It's probably me and my parents. Your parents? You sure? Because there have been some other people too. You can't just whip that together. His out of place proverbs love hanging between us awkward as I try and think of some way to respond. Alright, he's nuts. I say the chances are high enough. He shudders and makes some exaggerated hand gestures. You're a brave man, Hisao. Me? I don't think I trust the chances. The only one I trust is myself. Does that mean I should get to know you? Shouldn't get to know you either? He thinks about it for a while. A wise decision. You are smarter than you look. Probably. What do you look like? I hope not smart. Can't you see me? He squints his eyes and leans closer again, but I lean backwards to dodge it. Weirdo. Never mind, doesn't matter. With that, he turns, fumbles around for a minute in search of the door handle, and shuts the door behind him. Freak. I slide the key into the lock on the door marked 119. Bleak beige walls, white linen, a desk made of some type of light wood, ugly curtains. It's Ellen's room, impressionable like my hospital room was. My bags are sitting at the foot of my bed, looking a lot emptier than they did this morning. The closet is sitting open, stocked with my clothes. Also, it seems there are a number of school uniforms hanging there as well. The nose pinned to the sleeve of one of the shirts. Hi, John. We've unpacked your things and made your bed. They said if these don't fit, then you should go to the office tomorrow. If you have any problems, you can always call us. Love, Mom and Dad. Well, at least I don't have to worry about unpacking. Well, I guess that wraps it up for today. Great story. I'm really liking it so far. And I guess I'll see you guys later.